Okay, let's see what's next on the Wikipedia list. Lost, did it, postponed, lost, did it, lost, can't find anywhere, and not a real movie. I guess next up is... Wait, I'm in 1937 now. Tale of the Fox is next. Okay then, I've heard it's on YouTube, so... Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, I respect trying to protect the intellectual property of your grandpa, great-grandpa, I don't know your relation, but seriously, this should be public domain already. Ugh, stupid Disney ruining everything for, Hello, this is Mash It and Smash It, blah blah blah, Tale of the Fox. The movie, originally completed in 1930, was forced to postpone release due to issues with completing the soundtrack. It was finally released properly in Germany in 1937, and later in France in 1941, each version with separate languages. Had this movie been released in 1930 as originally planned, it would have been the first stop-motion animated movie, as well as the first animated movie to have sound, but it ended up getting beaten to those milestones by The New Gulliver and Peloponnese, respectively. Yep, there's my Christiani reference for this video. It's credited as the 6th animated movie ever made, but that's highly debatable, not only for the separate years of its completion and release in different countries, but also due to other movies that were released beforehand. 2 animated films were released in Italy in 1936. The one of them was lost, seemingly before it was actually finished, and the other is extremely elusive when I try to find footage or information beyond just its Wikipedia page. Also, as I said in my History of Early Animation video, there may have been other Argentinian movies besides just those 3 Christiani movies, from him as well as other people who previously worked with him. Created by Ladislav Starevich, an animator notable for creating stop-motion puppet animations using dead insects, such as the beautiful Lucanita and The Cameraman's Revenge, and his daughter Irene, the movie stars a variety of animals. So you might say that this is the first ever animated film to star anthropomorphic animals. No wonder so many future animated movies have foxes in them. In fact, quite a few of them probably got some inspiration from the character from the original story. Based on a story written by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, which in turn was based on a medieval folktale, the movie focuses on Renard, a fox who likes to trick other animals and take advantage of them in order to further his own primal concerns, as well as get himself out of any predicament he finds himself in. Soon, the Lion King, a couple decades too soon, orders for his arrest and execution, and the rest of the story is a big game of wits. This is probably the most interesting story I've reviewed so far. I actually had no idea where it might lead, and whether or not I should actually be rooting for the hero. It's very entertaining to see him manipulate his way out of one situation after another, but on the other hand, there are a few things he does that might earn most characters some form of comeuppance by the end, and I wondered if that should happen to him. Actually, this whole movie's kinda mean-spirited. We have spousal abuse, parents hitting their cubs, and several scenes of the human townspeople beating animals. They even beat a poor defenseless cat. Seriously, this is straight up animal cruelty. While the animation probably didn't take nearly so much work as Prince Ahmed or New Gulliver, it is still very impressive. You can tell that Starevich closely studied as many members of the animal kingdom as he could in order to perfect the details in the puppets' designs. While you could tell that the characters are not real dead animal carcasses like what he used for his bug animations, they all have very accurate appearances, but still retain a level of cartoony exaggeration for the tone of the film. The animation's also very smooth and energetic, though sometimes maybe a little too energetic, as some parts might make the characters look like they guzzled a bucket of caffeine and ecstasy all at once. This leads to some moments that might be a bit jumpy. Ah! The world created is also well established, and also as well designed as the characters. You can tell that a lot of hard work was put into the set. In fact, sometimes I wondered how much of the set was actually real. The characters all serve their purpose and create a bit of social commentary as well. The protagonist does some pretty horrible things throughout, probably the worst of which being the scene where he straight up murders an innocent hen, leaving her husband and children to grieve. But, well, that's just how things work in the animal kingdom. Part of the plot involves the king decreeing that the animals basically become vegetarians for each other's safety. but carnivores be carnivores. Foxes kill chickens. It's what they do. Switch to Geico. Or not. But otherwise, most of the other characters aren't really much better. Most of them end up being greedy, which Renard takes advantage of in order to outsmart them. So it's hard to really sympathize with most of them since they were stupid enough to fall for his petty tricks anyway. So despite not being what you would call a hero, it's hard not to enjoy this character. For that, he's my favorite character in the movie. As for my least favorite character, I would have to go with his cousin, Badger. How a fox and a badger can be related, I don't want to know. He pretty much spends the whole movie manipulating everyone to let his cousin off the hook for his crimes. So for this, he's no better than Renard is, but unlike Renard, his manipulations aren't nearly as entertaining. That said, I don't actually hate the character. If anything, he just proves to be another aspect of Renard's big master plan to get what he wants and get away with whatever he does to get it. Once again, the antagonist of the movie is pretty much everyone who's not part of the protagonist's family. But I suppose the king might be the primary one since a lot of the conflicts in the movie are based on his commands, and he can also be pretty greedy and selfish. But again, almost everyone in the movie is a villain to some extent. I might even go so far as to say that the protagonist is the movie's real villain. Spoiler alert, my favorite scene in the movie is when Renard manages to trick the king into releasing him from execution. Sure, it's a trick that takes a real gullible imbecile to fall for it, but this is the moment that really shows the extent of how far someone as manipulative as Renard can go. I also give an honorable mention to the climax, which shows that Renard is not just a smooth talker, but also a regular proto-Macaulay Culkin. As for my least favorite moment, well, probably the cat getting beaten. Seriously, I don't care how pesky some cats can be, you don't do that. Overall, this was a fun, entertaining, and well-animated film. Comparing it with the other movies I've looked at so far, I might still give a slight edge to Prince Ahmed, but this was definitely in the same ballpark. The only mild complaint I have is how mean-spirited it can get at times, but in the end, the final punchline of the movie, without giving too much away, makes sense of what they were going for. It wasn't meant to be pleasant or give characters what they deserve, it was merely meant to give satire to the misfortunes of the world, while also portraying the cutthroat nature of the animal kingdom. Yeah, you can go on about how nasty humans are all you want, but at least we have developed ethics, historical screw-ups notwithstanding. I highly recommend this movie to any flavor of film or animation historians. That said, maybe don't show it to your kids. So I rate The Tale of the Fox with an 8 out of 10. This is Mash It and Smash It, signing off. P.S. No, I'm not making a what the fox say joke.